My name is Gerd Kanter. I throw discus. I'm Olympic champion and world champion.
Okay, and can you tell us where we are today and what you're doing here, what you just did?
We're in La Jolla throwing field. We had a just competition today, third one in the series, world record challenge. I was trying to break a world record, but it's already 23 years old. I threw like 69.40. I was hoping to throw further, but it wasn't so windy today as we were expecting, and also a little tired already from the camp, so it was so-and-so competition.
Okay, and can you take us through the throws that you did today and just tell us about that last one you did?
I had a great warm-up, probably one of my best ever non-reverses. But when competition started, got a little rough, a little jerky in my moves. Didn't get mark on the first throw, so made like a safety throw in second round, 67.50. And when in the fourth round, I had probably my furthest throw on the competition, over 71 meters. That would be my season best, but I had a foul. So in the last two rounds, I was trying to hit it, and I thought I got pretty close in the last one, but it was only like 69.40, so a little disappointment. But I think it's been great training camp over here in San Diego, and I'm physically best ever. So also I think mentally, so it's gonna be like a great season for me.
And so I understand you have the third best throw in the history of the sport. Can you tell me about that? And is that what you're trying to break? The record you're trying to break?
Yeah, I have all-time third best throw in the world, 73.38. It's from 2006, and my goal is to break world record. That's like 74.08. So it's only like 70 centimeters. So it's not very far away, and I've been having some good throws in practice, so I think after this camp, when I rest well and get back to the track, I'm able to try to break it again. And I think the main goal of the season is to try to break the record.
Tell us what it was like here. Power down.
Yeah, I had it on the floor. Do you have a second battery?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to grab it? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Good thing there's two cameras.
Out of battery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Should we maybe a little less headroom, you think?
A little less?
A little less headroom, yeah. Just tilt down a little bit.
Take a quick look.
Could you just tilt down a little bit? Yeah, it's a little bit.
Isn't that top line?
Yeah, it's good. Okay. Yep. Okay, and can you tell us what it was like growing up in Estonia, and how did you become a discus player?
When I first started with sports, I was actually really liked basketball, so I was really hoping to become a basketball player. My idol was Michael Jordan, and like all my walls at my home were covered with his posters. So I was really dreaming about becoming an NBA star, but it didn't really go as I was planned, and I was rejected from sports school to get the basketball scholarship. So a few years later, like when I was 16, I was trying to throw some discus, and I was succeeding, and I was becoming better and better, and in the age of 18 I decided that I'm going to start throw discus in the future. So, but of course first I wasn't like a great thrower, so it took me like long time to be consistent, and so but since year 2000 I've been like professional thrower and training for Olympics, and I succeeded like 8 years later in Beijing Olympic Games, becoming an Olympic champion.
And how did you get into sport? Did your parents bring you into it, or were you always just naturally good at sports when you were a kid?
Yeah, my father has been like a very big sports fan. So when he was younger himself, he was doing like basketball. He was also throwing discus and shot put. So of course I had a big influence from him. So he was always pushing me to do sports, and I really enjoyed it. So, and he also saw me like more like an individual athlete, not as a team player. So I think that was also why I chose to be a discus thrower.
Okay, and then tell me about, talk about discus. How important is technique?
I think if we talk about discus, like technique is at least like 50%. So you could be very strong, really fast, but if you have a bad technique, it's really hard to throw very far, because it's a really technical event, and some people who are not very strong can still like throw very far. So, and to be a great technician, it takes you like thousands of drills, thousands of throws. So usually I take like 10,000 throws a year. So yeah, it is really technical event.
You think it's one of the most difficult sports?
If you talk about track and field, it's probably in top 3 if you talk about difficulty. So it's probably like pole vault, hurdles and discus. So they are like 3 most complicated sports, I think.
All right, can you take us through what a typical training week is for you?
Usual training days, we train usually twice. Morning session is throwing session. Usually we have like 30 to 40 throws. All starts like warm up, some drills, some running school exercises, and when we warmed up we have our throws. It takes like hour and a half, 2 hours, and afternoon we have a weight training where we like train like different exercises, squats, power cleans, bench press. So yeah, usually twice a day, 1 throwing session, 1 lifting session.
Okay, and yeah, talk a little bit more about strength and lifting sessions, and how important is that?
I would say like lifting is also very important. Like you don't have to be so strong in discus, you have to be stronger in shot put because it's heavier. But still, like to throw far, you need some basic strength, and always my like strongest part has been my legs. So I have pretty good squats. So yeah, like after like maybe age of 30, you probably not really get faster in your body, but you can always get stronger. So that's why you have like still time to improve even you get older, and that could help you improve also in your like throwing result.
And talk about your experience at the 2004 Olympics.
2004 Athens was my first Olympics. I was upcoming like discus thrower. I already had like a decent results. Like I had like my best mark like 68.50. So that usually makes like a medal in Olympics. But I wasn't like experienced enough to go through the qualification round. So I ended up like with 60 meters and 19th place after qualification, so I didn't make the final, and it was a very big disappointment for me. But still I think that was my breakthrough, because this showed me that I need to do some changes in my technique and in my preparation, and year after I succeeded in World Championships, becoming a 2nd place.
And then talk about 2008.
2008 was was probably best year ever for me. But I think it was also a very big influence. Like year before, like 2007, I became a first-time world champion, and it was a great experience. So that made me more confident. But of course, it put me more pressure also, because Olympic Games is after every 4 years, and it's probably the biggest sports event in the world. So I was really having big pressure from myself and from my country. So, but I could handle the pressure, and I took a gold medal. So that's for sure my best achievement in my career.
Did things change for you competitively after the World Championship, or more after the Olympics, as far as how competitors viewed you?
No, probably changed after winning 2007 World Championships, because that's really made me more confident, and I knew that I'm able to do whatever. So just had to be consistent and really strong in my mind, and I showed it in Beijing. So really proud of myself.
How do you mentally prepare for competition?
It's mostly coming with experience. You really see how you're doing in practice, and if you can carry it over to a meet and just get more extra adrenaline by competing, usually it makes you better. And if you really have a couple of technical details in your mind that you really need to follow, and if you can keep a plan, you can always succeed and throw what you can. So it's mostly about just trying to be patient in the technique, because as I said, it's very technical, and if you too rushy or too fast in the start, it's really hard to control the finish. So it is mostly just trying to calm yourself down and just say that, just take it easy in the first part, and then just throw as hard in the second part.
You think it's similar at all to golf, as far as technique, the same type of experience those guys?
Yes, I would really could compare it with golf, because movement is very similar with swing, and you really need to use your all your body, your legs, your hip. So actually, once when I was playing a golf, I got really good ideas to improve my discus technique. So yeah, I think it's kind of similar sports.
Right. And who's your greatest competition as far as individuals go, and then maybe other countries with individuals?
Probably my greatest competitor is Virgilijus Alekna from Lithuania, who's double Olympic champion and also world champion. So, and I've been competing against him and chasing his marks past maybe 5-6 years. So it's been really a great idol for me, and I'm really happy that I could compete against him, and also that I could beat him last Olympics. So, but if you talk about overall about discus and great throwing countries, it's very good big traditions in the United States. If you talk about John Powell, Mac Wilkins, Al Orter. So, and of course Germans like Lars Riedel, Jürgen Schult, a world record holder. So, and also Wolfgang Schmidt, who has probably the best technique ever, who's many throwers idol. So yeah.
Okay. What are your plans for? What are you currently training for right now?
This year's main 2 goals is to defend my title in World Championships, what's going to be held in Germany, Berlin, and also to try to break this world record, but it's already 23 years old. So these are main 2 goals for this season.
Okay. And what fuels you competitively? What inspires you to win? Or who inspires you to win?
when I was like upcoming, it was always like my main like rivals who really like inspired me to train harder and get better. But I've been always also good to just challenge myself. So now when I'm like world champion and Olympic champion, I really like challenge myself to go after world record. That is like 23 years old, and it's the oldest track record in history. So I think it's like good to challenge yourself and try to do something that nobody has ever done. So yeah, in that way, I really try to challenge myself.
And just a few more. How many minutes?
Wait for that airplane.
Wait for the airplane? Okay.
It's almost gone.
All right. Wait a little while.
No, it's good.
It's good? Okay. Can you tell us what your height and weight is?
I'm 6'5" and 285 pounds.
Okay. And what foods do you eat?
My favorite food is steaks and like pork, chicken. So really like things that makes you strong.
Now, how much can you eat a day? Steaks.
Usually I have like 3 meals, and plus like always after training sessions I have my protein shakes. So if it's like 5 times a day I have something to eat.
Okay. And I understand that, and I read an article on this, that one time you threw a bunch of cabbages for fun. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I had a meeting with the New York Times and in Beijing, and they came out with the idea to throw different stuff. So yeah, like a cabbage and like a can of fish and CD plate and different things. But yeah, actually I was really proud that I could throw like a can of fish like over 50 meters. So that was pretty impressive. Like I got really good spin on a can, and it really went very far.
All right. And what's your advice for less experienced discus throwers?
I think most important thing in discus is that you really need to do a lot of drills. You need to do a lot of throwing, because many times you meet people who like very good in weight room, very strong, but because they throw too little amount of throws, they just not become good in throwing. So main thing is that you have to have your main focus on your main event. So if you're a discus thrower, you need to at least spend 50 or 60% of the time in throwing. And if you're able to do that, you're gonna get better. So you get better what you do. So if you spend more time in weight room, of course you get stronger, but probably not better thrower. So just stay more in the throwing field.
All right. And what do you like to do outside of throwing?
I really like to follow different sports. Like I'm really big fan of NBA basketball. So many times on my free time I just try to follow the basketball. But myself, I like to just maybe go to fishing, play bowling or pool. So yeah.
All right. Let's wait for this plane. I just want to get one more stang with your introduction, so we have it on the wide shot.
Okay.
And then can we get a couple, just cheat a couple close shots of you, like you're gonna throw. You don't actually have to, but so we can get right in there. Sure. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, just give us your name, what you do, and where you are.
Hello, my name is Gerd Kanter. I'm a discus thrower from Estonia. I'm a 2008 Olympic champion in discus and 07 world champion also in discus.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, maybe we get a shot of you just like getting your discus out of your bag and just
Yeah.
like
You want to take it away? This one off or?
oh yeah, let's grab that. Thank you. Nice interview.